Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Life doesn't have to be hard. Look, I'm gonna tell you something now. Yeah, we go through some stuff and everything, and things will happen. We will have obstacles and we have detours. Like I always talk about, the path to success is not a straight line. It's more a squiggly line. And sometimes you're going to be in that hole. Sometimes you're going to go over that wall. Sometimes you got to go through the wall and everything. But I'm going to tell you what, it doesn't have to be hard. And it doesn't have to be hard for one simple reason: your mindset. I've known people who've gone through some stuff and they're just smiling. They're just smiling. I mean, they going through some stuff. But you know, what I found with them was their mindset. They got thrown in a hole. They're like, oh, okay. Let me climb out of the hole. Still smiling. They had to go through over a wall. They would go through it no matter what was happening because of their attitude. I'm going to tell you what. Going through life, you have to have the main attitude that no matter what happens, you can solve it. I'll never forget what this elder said, and I've said this before. Anything man-made, you can solve the problem. You can think your way out of it. And he was a very calm individual, no matter what happened. I learned a lot from him. And then I watched how he carried himself. No matter what happened, no matter what was going on. Because I'm going to tell you what, a lot of times people, they'll get thrown into a hole or they'll run into that mountain. And it's like, oh, woe is me and all of that. It's like, well, hold up. Why don't you just chill out a bit, realize these things going to happen and get through them anyway. Now, people who follow me a long time know I suffered a stroke back in 2023. Now, I could have been all upset and everything, but one thing the doctors, the therapists, everybody noticed, I didn't have a bad attitude. In fact, they praised me for it. I didn't have a bad attitude for it because I was just like, well, I needed a vacation. That's how I looked at it. Here it was, I couldn't eat. I couldn't walk. I spent a lot of time in a wheelchair. I was jacked up. Now, somebody else might have been like, oh, woe is me. And I saw some people both in the hospital and the therapy center. They had a negative attitude. I had a positive attitude. And that's one thing that was constantly said to me by doctors, nurses, therapists. It was like, you know what, you got a positive attitude. Because I was just like, I needed a vacation anyway. That's how I looked at it too. And yeah, still going through it, still not at 100%. But I say, you know what? This happens. I don't have to why make it harder on myself? I'll do what I have to do to be able to eat again. I'll do what I have to do to be able to walk again. Whatever the case. I didn't make it hard on myself. When you're going through life, I don't care what it is, don't make it hard on yourself. Because that's what I've seen with so many people. No matter what's happened, they make it hard. And that was something major. I mentioned that. I've seen some people go through things that personally I would consider lighter, and then they're making a big deal out of it. They be making a big deal out of situations. Everything that happens, you need to be thinking, oh, okay, I can solve this. Even now, and this is one thing in most of my life, things would happen, I wouldn't get upset right away. I was like, oh, this happened. I gotta solve this. No matter what it is. Even in situations I might have to take to solve something a little bit longer, but still, you can solve it. And going through life, you have to realize that as long as you can wake up in the morning, first of all, you blessed there. Some people ain't gonna wake up. As long as you following whatever deity that you're following, however you practice religion, spirituality, you can solve the problem. And see, let me talk on that. And I'm not talking about any particular religion, spiritual path, ethical path. These are people who will come up and say they pray to God this way, deity this way, whatever, supreme intelligence, whatever term they're going to use, and then they complain. I'm like, well, hold up. How is that showing that you have faith? These things are going to happen. You can solve this problem. I don't care what it is. This is what you have to do. One of the things that is very important, and I'll probably end up doing a separate video on this, is maintaining your peace. In fact, I will talk about that next week. Just maintaining your peace. Maintaining your peace, no matter what's going on. Because then once you maintain your peace, it's like, oh, okay, let me solve this. All of a sudden stuff gets easy. I'll use my stroke again. And I'm gonna tell you what, I talk about my stroke a lot because it was major. People die from it. People have been jacked up for life from it. But I went through it, but I had a positive attitude. I didn't make this hard. When I went to therapy and everything, I didn't make it hard. I was just like, okay. When I was at the therapy center, at first I was just doing my feet on a wheelchair, just going through it. And then getting on a walker and going through it. I didn't make it hard. Now it took a while. I couldn't just walk through it and everything. I just said, no, I'll just take my time. I'll walk through a section of it and everything and stop. And that's one example. I don't know what you're going through, but think about it. You still here to go through it. No matter what's happened, you can solve that problem. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. It don't have to be hard. If you have the mindset that no matter what happens, as long as you can breathe, you can solve it, boom. I don't care what it is. I don't care even if it's a natural disaster. As long as you still here, you survived it, okay. You can solve that issue. No matter how much trouble someone else might be giving you on a job, in the neighborhood, you can still solve that. Going through life is a blessing. Is a blessing. It don't have to be hard. It don't have to be hard at all. Now, yeah, there's going to be some stuff that's not going to be like super easy or anything like that. Yeah, but how you respond to it. How you respond to it. As I said, I've known plenty of people, they just had that mindset. No matter what happened, they would get through it. No matter what. I don't care what it was. They would get through it, but they had the mindset, I can solve this issue. I can get through this time. No matter how bad it might seem to outside people, they're like, yeah, I'll take care of it. They'll be like this. And you got to have that attitude. You have to have that attitude, no matter what. No matter what, because things are going to happen. Things are going to happen, but you don't have to make it harder than it is. People make it hard in their minds. Anytime I can see the same situation happen to two people, one, they take it like, oh, woe is me, and then the other one's like, oh, yeah, it's a bad situation. Let me go take care of it. It could be two people with buried up to their heads in sand. One is like, I'm buried to my head. It was like, well, the other one's like, yeah, well, I needed a break anyway. That's how you have to be. You have to be. You are blessed with life. You are blessed to wake up. That's a blessing. Every day that you wake up, you open your eyes. And then you're supposed to have some type of faith. Come on now. If you have some type of faith in a supreme being, you can solve any issue. Any issue. I don't care what it is. And I use the example of what I went through. That was serious. That was serious. There were people, I'm 60 years old now. There are people who passed away from the same thing. They didn't make it to this age. But I just kept going, no matter what it was. I was like, nah, I can deal with this. I can deal with this, no matter what. And so you have to have that attitude. Life doesn't have to be hard for you. You just have to have that right attitude. First of all, you blessed with life. Just being blessed with it. That means it doesn't have to be hard for you, okay? So anyway, That's all I have for today. Keep rising to become the best person you can be. Have the right attitude to get through whatever it is, whatever's going on. All right? Peace and blessings.